I guess I should start by just saying, I started drinking again. Honestly, this is a confession. I need to bring some healing to my life. I got some things to say, some things I need to get off my chest, some things that I'm not really necessarily feel like I'm hiding, like from my wife, and it's just things that are not everyone's business. But, when you put yourself on YouTube and you put yourself out there, I think often people will have a perception of you that is not accurate. And then you also you kind of lean towards not necessarily sharing every part of your story for, just some privacy or protecting yourself or protecting other people. If I'm going to be a good me, I think I need to be able to say things to the camera and anyone who wants to watch, and just try to be as truthful and honest as I can, and just share the things I struggle with and the things I have struggled with and the mistakes I've made and what I've learned from them. And so I'm going to share part of my story. I grew up in a house that one of my earliest memories was my mom and my stepdad having a party and me sitting in a little plastic chair by a keg. That doesn't mean I had a predisposition for alcoholism or anything like that. It just means I remember there being drinking in my home when I was a kid. A lot of people probably do. I think it turned into a problem in my life. Or, even as a kid, the people in my life were drinking a little bit too much, and the drinking would lead to people making choices they wish they hadn't made, fights, arguments, just that kind of stuff. Typical stuff. A lot of people live in a world that looks like that. That has been damaged by alcohol. It's tough. It can be very tough. I remember being at a friend's house about 5th grade, and me and my buddy trying to drink some of his parents' liquor they had underneath the cabinet, and it was like schnapps and just weird stuff, and I thought we were just being sneaky and cool. And I literally remember going to school with a buzz, and for some reason I didn't get caught. But drinking became a big part of my life. In high school, I partied whenever I could. I could drink every weekend. I made friends with people that were 21 when I was about 14 years old. And so as long as we had money or we stole it, I had alcohol around, and it led to me making a lot of poor decisions and getting hooked. As I aged on alcohol, I ran to it as a way to help fix my problems, or to fuel the party, to have fun. But quickly my childhood memories of destructiveness of it turned into me saying, I'm never going to be like that, I'm not going to do that, to me being that person. I became that person. I became the person that liked the drink. And I also like to smoke marijuana, and I liked mixing the two. And, I was in and out of jail, and I went to rehab because of DUI. And so I have a lot that I went through. About the time that I became a Christian, a little after that, I ended up getting a DUI. Cool, huh? Yeah. I waited till I was 21 to get my driver's license, and by 22 I had lost it, because I didn't have the self-control or the character. I just thought I was funny and life of the party, and let's keep the party going, and started driving over people's yards and got hit a rock and got stuck there and lost my car. But that was after becoming a Christian, and I was really trying to be better at that point. I was trying to stop drinking. I was trying to stop using drugs and all that kind of stuff, but I just wrestled with it. It's never been something that's been easy for me. It's always been a back and forth battle. But it kind of culminated to a dark time in my life where I was living out of Washington State, and I was just in a place I didn't want to be. I was turning into a person I didn't want to be, and I just had one of those nights of drinking where you wake up in the morning and you're like, that was stupid. That was stupid. Why did I punch that guy? This is stupid. I can't do this. I remember calling into work and saying I quit. And I called my dad and I said, can I move to Ohio? Because he had been asking me for the last about 3 years if I'd move out here because I met him at that a few years earlier, and he was a Christian and working on himself and asking me to come out here. And I was like hesitant because I knew I'd have to give everything up, which I wanted to, but I didn't also want to, and I was stuck. It was just always a difficult thing. But at that moment, I was like, okay, let's do this. So I moved out here to Ohio. It's been 20 years, and I came out here and I gave up cigarettes, I gave up drugs, I gave up alcohol, I gave up everything and just ran hard and fast at the Lord. But then, years into it, I was like, I got married and it's like, maybe I could try drinking in moderation here and there. And I'm like, it was okay, have a little drink, not a big deal. My wife wasn't a drinker, so then you kind of like, she didn't really like it, so I kind of had to hide it. And then once I started hiding it, then it was like, then it became something I wanted to do all the time. And so then I'd have to give it up again. It would hit ahead, and then I'd go 5 years, go 6 years without a drink. And like, hey, I've been reading my Bible, I've been praying, I've been pastoring, I've been doing all these things. Maybe I can drink in moderation again. And I could do it a little bit, have a drink here and there, not that big of a deal. Then some kind of stress would come into my life and it would trigger me into wanting to drink more and more and more. And then, whatever was done in the light wanted to start happening in the darkness, and it cost me time and money and who knows what, like just not wanting to be around people. And so this has been really a progression in my life since I can remember. I've just wrestled with it. So about a year ago, I had a little incident, let's say that, where I was like, I'm going to drink a little bit. And you guys are probably thinking, well, weren't you on the carnivore diet? I was like, yeah. I was like, I was new to it, and I was like, I'm going to drink a little bit and I'll make it hard alcohol because it has no carbs. I had no realization that the alcohol turned into sugar and metabolized that way. But I was doing the best that I knew how, when it came to the drinking, I guess. But it was like, then I felt like crap. So one thing about the carnivore diet I learned is if you drink, it will make you feel like crap. It will, it was nice because I was like, ugh, that's not good. I don't like how I feel. I don't want this. I'm going to stay off this stuff. I can't do this. It's not healthy for me. It's not good for me. And it makes me feel horrible. So why do it? And it reminds me of like not knowing that there was no carbs in it. It's like ignorance is not bliss. It's dangerous, and it's a lack of wisdom. Okay, so why do I tell you all this? There's some videos I put out a little while ago where I was saying I was depressed, and part of it was stress. Just the way my life was going, all the work, all the drama at work. My home life's been pretty well, but just to be honest, I started drinking a little bit, and it made me feel terrible. And then I felt terrible because I felt terrible, and that terrible is that bad feeling, just knowing that I was kind of like hiding it from YouTube, has been weighing on me. I don't want to hide it. I don't want to hide it from anyone. I don't want to say I hate myself for doing it, because I'm also proud of myself for not like letting it get out of control. I'm thankful for all the time beforehand that I learned how damaging it is for me. I just wanted to be a person that was okay with a couple drinks here and there. And for the most part, I am. But there's always that danger and that like demon that it's so seductive that just makes me want to run to something that makes me feel different because of whatever affliction I'm dealing with, whatever stress, whatever pressure, whatever discomfort. But sometimes it's just, I wanted to run to it just because I felt good. I felt happy. And I was like, well, okay, let's celebrate a little bit. And, I'm not going to get into the details of everything. I just know that fortunately I kept it minimal, but I did see that it could get out of control. And yeah, it's been tough kind of holding that in. So I'm glad I can get the opportunity to share it. But I went to this doctor's appointment the other day, and I got my lipids back, like all my panels and stuff like that. I'm still at a 5.7 A1C, but I saw a slight tick up, in my triglycerides, and my HDL went down, and my VLDL went up, and all the markers, that you would expect from eating some carbs. Like I ate some mushrooms and a little bit of carrots and broccoli, and just like as clean as I possibly could. But I had a few drinks, and a few days later, I went and got my labs done, and I saw it right on there, just plain as day. I could show you some of the stuff. They ticked up. My health journey, I was like, my health journey is over. It's over because they ticked up. I was on the downward thing. I'm wrestling with my doctor about all these things and trying to teach him about health, but yet I'm over here hiding in the shadows doing things that I know I should not be doing. Which, me even saying that is ridiculous, because nothing I did was crazy. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say that it was bad, my eating and just having a few drinks, but it wasn't good for me mentally or spiritually or in my health, and it's just something I need to say out loud so people can hear it. And if it upsets people, I'm sorry. And if it relates to you, like, hey, we're all more human than we want to be, I don't know. Let's just keep going. Let's learn and be better people. Because right this moment, right now, I'm thankful that I just went through that, because now it's giving me the motivation to move forward. And so tomorrow is New Year's, and I had all this stuff planned for New Year's already, where I'm going to do a lion diet challenge. But then I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to do a beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge, and get rid of the butter, because I'm staying away from the dairy. The exercise challenge, showing people what I'm eating, how much I'm eating. And, I gave up coffee to get into this, and it's like I'm working so hard that I like sabotage myself. And part of me still wants to say it's not a big deal. And then part of me is like, no, it's a huge deal. And I just don't know what voice to always listen to. But I do know this, that no one dies apart from the will of God. That saying, that understanding of God's sovereignty, like, gives me such peace, right? But it also gives me unease, because what part do I have to play in that? Can I just do whatever, whenever, and it not ever affect the day of my death? No, I don't think that's true. But what I also know is true is that God's leading me. And I wrote down this, and I told a friend about it. I haven't been alone in this. I had someone that I talked to about it. I said, I feel like God told me that when I don't drink, I will be blessed. And then, because I had a little struggle that I went through, and then I beat myself up because I turned to drinking a little bit instead of the blessing. And I just am like, what's wrong with you, dude? So what does all this mean? It means that I'm just telling you part of my story, some of the struggles I'm going through. I'm not perfect. I'm trying. I do believe a carnivore diet is still the best diet for me. Sure, if I had a little bit of ketovore stuff, but I really think that lab reflection, it was that scotch. It really was. So, and maybe in combination with those carbohydrates, which I don't know what it was. It wasn't a lot. So, I don't wrestle with sweets though. There's one bonus thing. All right. Well, love your guys' support, and I thank you for your time. Kilby out.